Hey guys, back again. This time I'm going to talk about The Foreigner, which came out like a week or two ago, I think, but I just watched it tonight. And I thought that it was pretty good. The ratings for this, whenever I saw how run of the mill average it was centered in and ratings, I was like, man, hopefully it'll be better than that. And honestly, I do think that it deserves better than 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that's what it was whenever I saw it. It was like a 50%, and I think that to me is really bad. And I think that this should give more credit. This movie should get more credit because Jackie Chan in this is really really good. And I usually say that about Jackie Chan in most movies that he's in, whether it's his cheesy movies or his serious movies. And I think that in this, I haven't seen all of his movies, but he is actually really engaging and really, like, I cared so much for Quan, his character, because you know what's happened in the trailer where it shows that his daughter gets killed in a terrorist bombing, and he goes and tries to figure out who killed her, and he is really engrossing because this is some of the most emotional I've seen Jackie Chan act, and I think he really sold it in this. And I felt the world for him, even though you only see the daughter at the beginning for like 2 minutes and she dies. But it really worked on that emotional level for me, and usually I need more than that. But just the emotion alone that Jackie Chan did in this movie, it worked so well, and it really got me. But it's pretty much just him trying to figure out who did it, who did the terrorist act, and it also involves Pierce Brosnan, his character, who's a British government official, who, whenever you first meet him, Quan is trying to get the answers, like, tell me the names, who did it, and he thinks that Pierce Brosnan character would know who it is, but I like that it's kind of like a cat and mouse game of them Quan trying to get Pierce Brosnan, and Pierce Brosnan keeps going to different places to hide from him, but every time Quan keeps coming back. And I really liked how this type of movie usually consists of um, kid dies, older parent goes out for revenge, they immediately figure out who the killer is and go and try to get him. But I like this movie in the terms of it took the whole movie to figure out who it was. You didn't immediately know. And a lot of these movies do that, and I've really appreciated in this that you didn't know the mystery until the end, and it actually worked really well in its favor. Because, like I said, in these type of movies, you always see it happen where you figure out who it is, and the rest of the movie is them trying to get to them, get to the killers. But in this one, you don't really know until the end, and I liked how it didn't end the same way as a typical movie like this does in terms of vengeance. It is different, and revenge. It is different in how they interpret this ending to these other type of movies that are very similar to this one. Like I said, with a family member going out to find the killers who killed their kid. It really worked in this, and the only thing for me personally, that I didn't like about this movie is I thought that some of the political parts for me were not that interesting, but it didn't knock it down much. It just didn't make me absolutely love this movie, but I think that in terms of Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan, they are fantastic, and in terms of the action, it's really good. It's Martin Campbell, who did Casino Royale and GoldenEye, and then the Zorro movies, I think both of them, and then, so like he knows action. He knows how, and I like his style of action where it's not always over glamorized, in a way where it's very hands on, like it's very close up, hands on. Um, like the fights in this movie are good, and there are not many fights. It's really well, I mean, I say character driven, but Quan is not always in it, or Jackie Chan isn't always in it a lot. Some of it is more the political stuff with Pierce Brosnan, which is the part I didn't like as much in terms of showing too much of that. I feel like it could have been trimmed a little bit than what it was. But besides the matter of that, I think this movie is really, really good, and I don't think it deserves such a low score from critics. I think that it has a lot of stuff to appreciate. Like I said, Jackie Chan is really good and really engrossing, and really feel so much for this character and what he's going through, and you understand how, even though they say he's been like trained, it really is great with a guy like Jackie Chan who does training for who does that kind of training, and I loved it. I loved how you see his tactics and you see how much of a badass he is and how he's not gonna quit, and I really loved that about him, and I loved how just the camaraderie between him and Pierce Brosnan, how they both are vying to do something, but and trying to, they're both getting in each other's way in a way where Jackie Chan Kwan just wants to get the answers, but Pierce Brosnan is trying to get the answers too, and I really, really liked that. I thought that was really cool, and I like this interpretation of that. It was really awesome. So besides that, I just think it was a little too long and a little too political, in just a sense that they could cut down a little bit of that. They didn't have to show all of this description or tell all this description exposition of it. I think that they could have just shortened it a little more. And I'm usually fine with stuff like that, but I just didn't feel that way for this one. But besides that, it's a really good movie. It really is worth watching, especially if you're a Jackie Chan fan. I really think that he brings a lot of emotion, a lot of depth to it. So yeah, it was really good, and I really, really recommend it, honestly. So thanks guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.